Amazing song right there. You know, we had to ensure that we are hyping ourselves up because this is actually the beginning of the week, being a Tuesday. But anyway, it's time for us to have a look at what is being reported in our newspapers this morning. And of course, we'll be starting off with the Daily Nation. And of course, you know, yesterday was major, you know, with celebrations of the Mashujaa Day all around. And of course, we get to see here that the Daily Nation is having the top story, Raila shadow looms over Mashujaa Day. And I see former Premier posthumously awarded the Republic's highest honor. And also, I also see here more stories of the same. Is Kenya politics without Baba? And page 10 is covering throughout his lengthy political career. Raila Odinga, who died last week, was revered and vilified for more than 3 decades. His name defined the country's politics, evoking devotion or disdain in equal measure. And the divisiveness once prompted the then Vice President Kijana Wamalwa to remark that Kenya lived under the twin forces of Raila mania and Raila phobia. This is interesting, a story covered on page 10. And of course, right now we are now looking at what will politics look like without Raila Odinga. And of course, the top page here is also adding that a day after the burial of Raila Odinga, memories of the veteran opposition leader lingered over the Mashujaa Day celebrations, with President Ruto devoting a major part of his address at Ithokwe Stadium in Kitui to paying glowing tribute to the former Prime Minister who died last week, aged 80. Similar messages dominated speeches in the regions where speakers challenged leaders to observe the ideals that the ODM leader stood for. That includes defending civil liberties, protecting devolution, and upholding the rule of law. This is a story covered on page 4 and 5. And of course, many would say that indeed Raila Odinga was their hero. And that is what was happening, especially on Mashujaa Day in Kitui, whereby the president, gave a very resounding speech, just appreciating the late Honorable Raila Odinga for the marks that he made in the country. And of course, we see also here questions about handling of Raila's health and death announcement. Of course, that is also coming up. You can look at that story on the Daily Nation as well. And I also see here, Born Different, the untold story of Kilifi's children with microcephaly. This is interesting and I think very strange. Most people may not even know what that is, but the Daily Nation is also covering that today. I also see more stories, politics without Raila, what his death means for political players, also covered. And this is a very comprehensive story that helps us to see what politics will look like, what it will mean for the various political leaders in our nation. And I also see family in pain as missing son found dead, body mutilated. This is quite unfortunate. This is so sad because this is a small baby. It's not even like an older person. It's a small little baby. Very, very sad and unfortunate. It's painful. You wonder who would do such a heinous act. Oh, may Lord have mercy. May God have mercy. And, our condolences to this small family that has had to endure this kind of pain. And I also see here the Daily Nation still on Raila Odinga. I see the king is dead, but long live the crown. This is Winnie Odinga's cryptic political signal. And lastly, CMPs again reject e-procurement order by the National Treasury. And now let us have a look at the Standard newspaper just to see also what is being reported here. And the top page here, of course, is all about the late Raila Odinga. Honored in death is what the highlight is saying here. And it says the weight of Raila Odinga's name hung heavy on President William Ruto's heart and tongue as he addressed the nation from Kitui during Mashujaa Day celebrations, which was yesterday. More than 20 times he invoked the late opposition leader's name, praising his courage and sacrifice before posthumously conferring on him Kenya's highest honor, that of Chief of the Order of the Golden Heart. Across the counties, governors joined joined in celebrating a man whose death carries a striking irony. Once Kenya's most persecuted politician, Raila Odinga, is now enshrined among its greatest heroes. It's quite shocking, honestly, because it got to a point where even the Gen Zs were against the late Raila Odinga because they felt like aliwacheza, But now, with his death, we see a big number of them come out and, of course, show their honor and respect. And, of course, just some few comments here just to read. I see Kwale Governor Fatuma Achani saying Raila stood firm in the fight for the birth of a new constitution and the establishment of devolved governments that have brought services closer to marginalized people. And Kenneth Lusaka here, Bungoma governor, saying he may not have become president, but his legacy is presidential. They called him the people's president. We praise him as a man who gave his life to the cause of freedom, equality, and inclusion. He gave life to devolution and fought for a constitution that protects our rights and diversity. Simon Kachapin, West Pokot governor, here saying a true patriot and a founding father of Kenya's devolution system. His fight for democracy and inclusive governance has transformed grassroots lives. And let's just keep reading this comments. Oscar Sudi, Kapseret MP, here saying Raila was a true man of God, known for reaching out to his political enemies for the sake of the people. I was impressed by the peace shown by the people of Kisumu. I see Julius Malombo also adding, who is the Kitui governor, saying in a special way, I applaud the departed former Prime Minister Raila Odinga as an outstanding and awesome Shujaa who Kenyans are celebrating for championing multi-party democracy, constitutional reforms, defending devolution, justice, and also rule of law. So many wonderful words have been said. And of course, even yesterday at Sitam Valley Road, Bishop Oginde, that is Emeritus 2, also did mention that one time they had a conversation in the wee hours of the night with Mr. Raila Odinga. And he says that his humility really shocked him. And whatever they discussed, the next day, the late Raila Odinga did honor his words. And he was just mentioning to us while in church service that this was a man who, kept his word and was also very humble, even to receive criticism, even to receive instruction and direction for what needs to happen. And I also see here that some things are coming out. The truth comes out. Ida Odinga's confession about her 52-year marriage that every Kenyan couple needs to hear. This is interesting, and you can have a look at it there. I think one of the things that I heard in her speech was with regards to naming children. One may not know really why, but she did mention that we need to be careful with the names we give to our children, that we shouldn't just give because somebody is a celebrity and we just name our children after them. So that's one of the things that really stood out in her speech. And I see here tribute to Raila Odinga, the man who shaped my generation. So that is on the opinion polls today. So those are just some of the stories that have been reported on the Daily Nation and the Standard as well. You can definitely grab a copy of your favorite and have a look. Of course, we are still on the conversations of the late Honorable Raila Odinga, trying to look back at the things that he did, trying to look at the achievements and the milestones that he made in our nation, Kenya, before leaving us. And it was interesting because his burial coincided with the Mashujaa Day celebrations that just took place the next day. So I think it's very paramount and important to reflect on just how much of a hero he was. He may never have been the president, but people did call him, the people's president. And as we have seen here, it says clearly that his reforms were actually presidential. So yeah, that's what is being reported. And you can also tune in to Hope FM at the top of every hour. We do have news updates. We bring it to you live as it is happening in some areas, and of course also not just within Kenya but also outside Kenya. So now let us have a look at the video of the day, see what we can learn from it. When we come back, we are going to talk about it.